Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of our Unnamed House Flipper series. I'm your host, TJ, and today we will be sharing some of my favorite renovations from our most recent sessions. Hopefully you guys are more impressed than my girlfriend was when she found out I actually wasn't 6 feet and handsome. Buckle up, or don't. We're just playing some House Flipper for goodness sake. We start off walking through our freshly renovated office. Okay, enough of that. That was... What a stupid bit, dude. I don't even know why I think of these things sometimes. The first project we will be covering is a remodel that we're doing for Anthony Gray. He wants us to knock down some walls so his space can feel a bit more open. With this being our first demo job, I was a bit nervous that we might mess something up. Fortunately for us, the walls that need to go down are clearly highlighted on our map, and the game doesn't even allow us to demo walls accidentally, so the entire process actually goes pretty smoothly. While we're at it, we're even able to upgrade our sledgehammer. After wrapping up the other minor tasks that we have around the house, this is what we end up with. We're starting off with a simple job for sure, but I think it turned out nicely. And we definitely aren't going to be complaining about making $5,000 in only 11 minutes. I do some freaky things for that type of return. No, seriously, I do some despicable actions for a check like that. Our next project is a cleaning-centered one, but this time around, we're in the garden. I don't actually have the garden DLC at this point, but I guess the game wanted to give me a sneak peek of the experience I could get if I decided to give them my money.
A few moments later.
Yeah, this wasn't enjoyable. For starters, any job that has extensive trash cleanup is already kind of an L to begin with. However, there is a much larger atrocity that is present here. Something that even makes cleaning the walls with a mop look rational. I am mowing a lawn with a weed whacker. A weed whacker. The thing you're meant to trim pavers and shit with. After seeing this, I am convinced that there is a sadist on the development team and they just hate everyone. And I know there is at least one person thinking, "Oh, TJ, why are you making such a big deal? It gets the job done, doesn't it?" No, actually it doesn't.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal.
This isn't a joke. I actually resorted to reading forums to figure out if I was doing something wrong. Look at this. Hey, you keep your eyes up here. This is not normal. If it wasn't obvious what I'm complaining about, it's the fact that the weed whacker takes an eternity to cut the grass. It's not meant to do that. It doesn't make any sense, and it functions like it's not designed to do the thing that the game is making me use it for. In the grand scheme of things, the garden improvement didn't take that long, but I did spend about 5 minutes mowing, if that's what you want to call it, every inch of the garden because it got dark and I couldn't tell what piece was still missing. Other than that, we got to cut up some trees and place some furniture pieces, but it was overall a pretty off-putting experience. The end product was quite unremarkable as well, and we didn't even get paid that much. Would not recommend. Speaking of getting paid, I do not get paid enough for this shit. This was, and still is, appalling. Listen to this. Listen very closely. I am legitimately fighting the urge to scratch myself watching this back. This is the one time where I think we're actually using the right tool for the job, as we use this vacuum to suck up the roaches. If it isn't obvious enough, this house is absolutely filthy, and we spent about 20 minutes returning it to a livable state. Here is the before. Here is the after. I can't hate on it too much because I spent some time living in squalor myself, so we'll let this one slide. Our final client of the day is Amy Johnson, who wants us to redecorate her aunt's home. It actually looks like we'll have a bit of freedom when it comes to designing this one, so I was pretty excited to get going with it. We start off by doing a quick walkthrough of the place and quickly discover that Amy was not lying. This place could use some love. We start demoing the walls next to the front entrance to create the area where the future kitchen will go, though the space is a bit small. Psst. Hey, that was foreshadowing. Remember this. With our sledgehammer still in hand, we make our way to the bedroom to break her walls down. To take out another set of walls. After laying the hammer down, we give the bedroom a fresh coat of paint. I'm not originally the greatest fan of this faded lemon color, but we can make it work if we pick some furniture that complements it. But first, we need to get rid of the old stuff, and not just here, in the living room space too. With each thing we sell, we are able to earn us some cash, but most importantly, we're able to clear up some space. With the extra space, it's easier for us to envision the renovations that we want to make. Just like we did in the bedroom, we apply some fresh coat of paint on the walls before we start purchasing furniture. Cool. Now that that's complete, let's furnish this place. Oh, that's gonna be a problem. You remember that foreshadowing earlier? No. Dude, I need you to pay attention. Yeah, it doesn't look like the kitchen is big enough for the shit that Amy is telling me I need to buy. Please note the time I realize this is going to be a problem, because it's going to be a long time until I figure something out.
It's like I made a mistake.
Nearly 2 hours of flipping, rotating, more rotating, relocating, repositioning, renovating, restarting. I could keep going, but I won't. This is honestly extremely embarrassing to even share with you guys. I would rather get caught doing one of those devious things that I mentioned previously. For those of you who care, the first problem is that the tile floor is ever slightly too small to fit the stovetop and the sink the way I want to. In most scenarios that we created, we will end up with an unnaturally tight situation where we couldn't fit between two pieces of furniture. As far as the game is concerned, I could have just completed the job once everything was purchased and on the floor and got a full reward, but this is when I realized I was way too far gone. Rather than improving my life in some measurable fashion, such as editing, working out, spending time with friends, spending time with my family, getting better at my actual job, I moved fucking pieces of furniture in every possible orientation for hours, and I saw nothing wrong with that. Send help. At the end of it, however, I was able to establish an orientation that I was ultimately satisfied with. I am not an architect or a designer, so I don't know the fancy words to use to convince you that this is a good design, but it feels right, right? No pinch points, the kitchen looks believable, and I can honestly say, I think this space would be functional for someone to live in. And let's not forget about the bedroom, right? We went for a heavy use of the orangey cherry wood, or at least I think that's what it's called, which I felt complemented the greenish tinge of the wall paint. I tried to add some color with the flowers on the window, but I can admit that some more pop would have helped bring it all together. But overall, I am very happy with how this remodel turned out, and it looks like our client was too. But that is enough house flipper for today, and it's time that we return to reality. None of us will be able to afford a home. This is all that we have. If you think you're going to buy a home, you're wrong. You'll never be able to afford it. The inflation rates will never go down, the cost of living will spike, and you will never be able to move out of your mother's basement. Can't wait for you guys to join me in the next one. All positive vibes over here, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.